Welcome to Statistics, where we bring complexity to clarity. I'm excited to have you join me for our first unit, Introduction to Statistics. The word statistics is generally used in two different ways. When it is used in plural form, it means the quantitative data affected to a marked extent by a multiplicity of causes. When we say collect statistics, it means collect the numerical data which are to be analyzed and interpreted. When it is used in singular form, it means the science of collecting, classifying, and using the data for further statistical treatments. It involves the methods of analysis and they are known as statistical method. In short, we can say that statistics, when used as plural, it means numerical information of fact, that is data, and when it is used in singular, it is a science. The definitions of statistics given by different scientists are as follows. R.A. Fisher, the father of statistics, defined it as a study of population, variation, and the methods for reduction of the data. A.L. Bawley defined it as a science of calculations and averages. Waddington defined it as a science of estimate and probability. All these definitions are not satisfactory because they cover only a part of the subject. Hence, in general, we can define statistics as a branch of applied mathematics and is connected with observational data. Or, statistics may be defined as the science and art of collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. Various terminologies associated with statistics are given here. Let's see them. Biometry. When the principles of statistics are applied to living thing or organisms, it is called the science of biometry. So, in biometry, we apply the principles of statistics to living things like human beings, animals, etc. Statistical methods. The methods by which statistical data are analyzed are called statistical methods. So, there are different statistical methods used for analyzing the data, which we'll be seeing in the next videos. Attributes. The qualitative characteristics of an individual which shows variability are known as attributes. For example, color of flower, color of skin, etc. So qualitative characteristics are basically those which we can see, feel or touch, but it cannot be measured. Such variables are called the attributes. Variable. The characteristics which show variation or variability are called variables or variates. These are the variables which do not have fixed values. They keep on varying or differing from time to time or from area to area, etc. For example, cabbage yield, wheat yield per hectares of the growers. Here it is differing over area. Variable can be of two types, qualitative or quantitative. The qualitative variables are the one that have the characteristics which cannot be measured numerically or in terms of magnitude. For example, flower color, nature of surface, etc. These are the characteristics which can be touched, felt, seen, but cannot be measured. Hence, are called the qualitative variables. The quantitative variables are the characteristics which can be measured in terms of magnitude. So these are the characteristics that can be measured using any of the tools or some measurement methods. For example, yield of crop, height, weight, etc. are the examples of quantitative variables, that is, they can be measured. The quantitative variables are further divided into discrete and continuous. The discrete variables are the quantity which take only integer or whole values. There is a definite gap between two values. For example, number of students in a class, number of bacteria in given area. So here the discrete variables are those which take whole values only. They cannot take fractional values. For example, when we talk of number of students, it can be 25, 30, 50, etc. But we can never say that there are 25.7 or 13.2 or 15.7 number of students. They are always in whole numbers. That is discrete variables. Coming to continuous variables, the quantity which can take any numerical value in a certain range are the continuous variables. They can be in fraction. There is no definite gap between the values. For example, we can take a number range that is 1 to 10. If we take, then it will constitute of all the numbers from 1 to 10, that is 1, 1.1, 1.2 till 2, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 3, and so on till 9, 9.1, 9.9 and 10. That is, there is no definite gaps between the values, and fraction values are also involved. For example, height and weight. As we can say that a person has height 158.3 centimeters or he or she weighs 35.5 kgs. Methods of data collection. Let's see various methods of data collection. The first one is measurement. Here it tells us how we can measure different characteristics like length of pod, height of plant, area of leaf, volume of mango fruit, etc. Scale in physical science. The physical measurements like temperature, humidity, wind velocity, etc. Scores and ranks. The scores or ranks given by judges, for example, intelligence test, which can be judged or ranked or scored through IQ of a person. Personal contact, example, by asking questions to the individual. Questionnaire. It is the data collected by mailing a form called questionnaire consisting of several questions. So questionnaire is basically a list of several questions which are used for collecting the data. So these were different methods for data collection. Aims of studying statistics. The first is to study population, that is, the study of population on the basis of sample. Then, to understand the nature of variability. To express the facts in summary form, that is, the facts that are based on large number of observations. To provide correct methods for taking sample. To provide proper method for comparison of two or more things. To predict or forecast. For example, it helps in predicting or forecasting the yield of particular crop for a particular year on the basis of past records. Limitations of statistics. Statistics, with its wide applications, is almost in every sphere of human activity. It is not without limitations. The following are the important limitations. The first is statistics does not study qualitative phenomenon. Here we can say that we can study only the quantitative characteristics directly, but in order to study the qualitative characteristic, we have to first quantify them. The qualitative character, as we discussed, which can be touched, felt or seen, for example, intelligence or color, shape or nature of the surface, etc., can only be studied if they are quantified. For example, if we want to know the intelligence of the audience, then we need to quantify them using intelligent quotient or some grade point system, etc. The second is statistics does not study individuals. That is, if we are having a data set, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, having 5 data points, then we cannot have idea about the individual data points in the given data set. We can have only the idea about the whole group, that is data set as a whole. Statistics gives idea only about the aggregate. Here we can say that mean of the given data set is 3 or standard deviation is √2. But we cannot say the individual anything or nature of the individual data point. So statistics does not study individuals. Statistical laws are not exact, unlike the mathematical and scientific laws. Basically, statistical laws are true only on an average. For example, if I say that tossing a coin would give us heads and tail in 1:1 ratio, is true only on an average. That is, if I toss a coin 10 times, I cannot say that I will get heads 8 number of times or 9 number of times or tails 2 times or no heads, etc. It can be only said if I toss the coin indefinite number of time or very large number of time, then I can conclude that I will get heads and tails in equal proportion, that is 50% heads and 50% tails. Hence, statistical laws are not exact. They are true only on an average. The fourth is statistics is liable to be misused. That is, if the statistical data goes into the hands of inexperts or dishonest persons, then they can misuse it by manipulating the data or using some analytical tools that would give output in their favor. So all these things can be taken care if it goes in the hands of dishonest or inexpert persons. Hence, always the statistics should be handled by the experts. So statistics is liable to be misused. So these were the limitations of statistics. Importance in agricultural research. It helps to understand nature of variability or differences. For example, if you want to know the variations or differences between the two different species, for example or varieties as in genetics, or different fertilizer doses as in agronomy, then it helps to understand the nature of variability of the species or varieties, etc. To arrive at the meaningful conclusion on the basis of sample study in the field. For example, if we have conducted some trial or experiment, then we can use various statistical tools or analytical methods to draw meaningful conclusion, like comparing fertilizer doses in order to recommend a particular fertilizer dose. That is, to give a meaningful conclusion by recommending a particular dose out of the different doses under the experiment conducted. Then next is to express the data result of field experiment in summary form. That is that as we conclude the fertilizer dose, we can also have an idea about all the doses from the list, and we can summarize whether a given fertilizer dose has a significant difference from the other doses or it is at par with them. Sampling. Statistics also helps in sampling. For example, in State Agricultural Survey for estimation of area and yield of crops, in price fixation policy of various agricultural commodities, in Agricultural Extension Survey to study the impact of programs, in Agricultural Economics Survey to study the demand-supply policy, the growth rate of population and cost of production of various crops. Next is forecasting. In agriculture, forecasting is used in meteorology for weather forecasting, in economics for price forecasting of various crops, in crop production for forecasting yield, etc. Thank you for joining me on this journey through our first unit, Introduction to Statistics. If you found this unit helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Statistics for more insights and clarity on statistics. Your support helps continue creating content that makes complex topics simple and accessible. You may follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn.